provide students an opportunity to utilize the compare and contrast learner-centered strategy in your classroom, you can go about it different ways depending on what your goal and your outcome are. If you want students to do it individually or in small groups, or you want them to do it independently, you can provide them with a very simple compare and contrast. We're all very familiar with the Venn diagram: two overlapping circles, contrasted information on the outside, compared information on the inside. I was able to create this very easily in a Microsoft Word document just by inserting shapes, circles, and then I adjusted the transparency of the fill color to allow for the visibility of the overlapped area. So if I did something like this, it would allow the students to compare two similar items and identify what is the same, what is different. So for this example, I'm using the Civil Rights Amendment and the Equal Rights Amendment. If I want to provide these to the students via Blackboard, what I would want to do is to go into my discussion board, click on the forum that I want to utilize, create a thread. We'll label it the compare and contrast. Okay. And then I can attach it using the attachment. And so now when students enter the thread, they can access the compare and contrast document. So it will download, and then when they reply, if I'm having them fill this out electronically online, they can attach it. They can attach their updated version, and other students would be able to access it depending on your settings of the forum. And this would allow other people to see what the students came up with as their results. Another way to do this, if you specifically wanted students to do this as a group project, if you come down to the Course Tools section, we have what's called a wiki. Wikis have to be utilized in the small group setting. So let's say that I have the students in small groups, and as a group activity, I'm going to have them complete a wiki. So I'm going to go ahead and select the groups that I want the wiki to be available in. And I'm going to go ahead and click Create Wiki. I'm going to name it. Sorry about that. Make sure it's available. Make sure that the participants can edit. And then submit. Oops. Sorry about that. When you do this, the way that you would set it up is that you would begin with a table. So the table, you want 3 columns, and you can do as many rows as you like. Let's say, or actually, we'll go ahead and we'll do 3 rows. Okay. Then we're going to go ahead and expand this so it's large. And we'll enter in the information of what we are comparing and contrasting. So we are doing the 14th Amendment. And we're doing the 19th amendment. Okay. So now that this is set up, students can come in and they can enter their information. And the nice thing about a wiki is that students are able to come in and edit it each person, so that one person can add to what the other person did, and it is one collective document. So that's why this is something you have to do in a small group setting, because if you had 15 people editing this document, that would be a little overwhelming, and then you can compare what each group has created. So this is another way to do the compare and contrast. So those are two separate ways that you could complete this learner-centered strategy. And again, just to highlight some of the benefits is that it allows students to utilize critical thinking skills, analyzing nuances between two separate things, and it helps clarify ideas. So this is a great strategy to utilize in your classroom.